You could replace the word drug with poison. Like anything that is not built on solid foundations, the brainwashing is as fragile as a house of cards and will collapse in an instant.
Smoking. This is not a video about smoking. It's not about the one after a meal.
Nothing like a smoke after a meal.
Or the many across a long night of great sex. And contrary to the title, it's not even about quitting smoking, but rather it's about how the seduction and abandonment of this vice informs two particular performances.
Yeah, I cherish these moments.
Beyond simply missing the pleasure of it, I often reflect on the challenge of quitting smoking, especially after previous failed attempts. Recently, this reflection deepened when I saw Kristen Stewart's performance as Lou Langston in Rose Glass's sophomore feature, Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay.
A character navigating threats of violence, toxic family dynamics, and the emotional whirlwind of newfound love. Oh, and she's trying to quit smoking through all of it.
I quit. All of it.
Oh my gosh. Lulu, do you want me to stop?
Stewart's performance as Lou reminded me of Murray Hamilton's portrayal of Mayor Larry Vaughn in Steven Spielberg's Jaws. So subtle that many viewers don't realize that Mayor Vaughn is trying to quit smoking throughout the film. He faces crushing pressure from Amity's beach culture,
Only 24 hours.
anxious tourists, and the looming promise of summer dollars on the 4th of July.
We need summer dollars.
All of this while trying to both quit smoking and solve and ignore the terrifying threat of a killer shark.
And I am not going to stand here and see that thing cut open and see that little Kettner boy spill out all over the dock.
How quitting smoking informs these performances, shaping the characters' behaviors and choices, sadly seems to go unnoticed. As many with experience can attest, the act of quitting smoking can quickly fall apart in the face of overwhelming and chaotic crises, often resulting in relapse. And we should also acknowledge the various symptoms of withdrawal. Cravings are easily demonstrated by the presence of Mayor Vaughn's nicotine inhaler.
What we are dealing with here.
Irritation.
Shut up! Now, I
Grouchiness.
want those little paint-happy bastards caught and hung up by their Buster Browns.
Scattered emotional upsets.
Look, that's what's going on.
Inability to make sound and competent decisions.
But those beaches will be open for this weekend.
Sleeplessness. Jitters. A sense of doom and depression. Hamilton's performance is extremely subtle, almost imperceptible unless you're paying close attention. From the moment we meet him, his struggle is layered into his body language. Right away, the pressure begins to mount. And in his hand, you'll spot that nicotine inhaler. If you watch the film closely, you'll see it in nearly every scene he appears in. Stewart's portrayal is a bit more overt, yet still deeply woven into her character's emotional arc. She listens to tapes.
The brainwashing is as fragile as a house of cards.
Chews and sucks on aluminum can lid tabs. And most significantly, she finds pleasure in the emotional joy of love and the physical act of it. Both of these characters eventually succumb to their cravings when their conflicts reach a boiling point. For Mayor Vaughn, his breaking point comes after tragedy strikes.
Summer is over. You're the mayor of Shark City. These people think you want the beaches.
His poor decision-making, reluctance to act, and failure to protect his community lead to devastating consequences.
Why you're going to do the right thing. That's why you're going to sign this, and we're going to pay that guy what he wants. Martin. My kids were on that beach too.
It's what most smokers would relate to as the coping smoke. The cigarette you reach for when everything has gone to hell and there's nothing left to do but surrender to the moment and face the music. For Lou Langston, though, it's a different kind of cigarette. It's the reward cigarette, that satisfied smoke. The I think I'm finally clear of that nightmare cigarette. Albeit one that comes after a trail of carnage. Earlier in Love Lies Bleeding, Lou is tempted when she spots a pack of cigarettes in the pocket of a body she's about to dispose of.
Nope.
But she resists, determined to first be clear of danger. Later, once clear of that danger, she finally indulges, helping herself to a cigarette from the purse pocket of the last body in their wake, lighting up as the closing credits roll. Again, these performances illustrate the sensory assault and roller coaster of impulses many experience while going through withdrawal from pretty much any addiction, afflicting an emotional, physical, mental, and even spiritual toll upon them. Without this context, you may not fully appreciate the nuances of these performances. For years, I watched Jaws dozens of times before noticing Mayor Vaughn's subtextual struggle. And when I finally did, it became a slightly different film, at least where his character was concerned.
Let's be reasonable, huh? This is not the time or the place to perform some kind of a half-assed autopsy on a fish.
So whether you're watching these films for the first time,
Thank you very much, Mr. Quint.
Shut the fuck up. You can stay here.
or revisiting them, look beyond the obscurity or celebrity of these actors, and keep this new perspective in mind.
You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
The nuances of these performances are worth taking note of. Watch with fresh eyes, and perhaps you'll speak of them with praise. I know I will.